What if hiring could be easier, more streamlined, and less time-consuming? So even when you're busy, you could still be smart about the way that you hire. With ZipRecruiter, you can post your job to over 100 of the web's leading job boards with just one click. So you can rest easy knowing your job is being seen by all the right candidates. Then, ZipRecruiter puts its smart matching technology to work, actively notifying qualified candidates about your job within minutes of posting, so you receive the best possible matches. That's why ZipRecruiter is different. Unlike other hiring sites, ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on the right candidates finding you, it finds them. No wonder 80% of employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site in just one day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. Find out today why ZipRecruiter has been used by growing businesses of all sizes and industries to find the most qualified job candidates with immediate results. And now, my listeners can post jobs on ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/J&J. J-A-N-D-J. That's ZipRecruiter.com/J-A-N-D-J. One more time to try it for free. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/J&J.
Jody Avirgan here. I'm glad you're enjoying 30 for 30 podcast, part of a special collection of sports audio documentaries from ESPN Films. We're finding the best sports stories for you right now. And to do that, we're behind the wheel of the Mini Countryman, the biggest mini yet.
Please proceed to the highlighted route.
To find great sports stories, you have to get out into the world and follow your instincts. That's where the Mini Countryman's all-wheel drive comes in handy. With all four, we can chase down a story in the city, the country, and most places in between. Podcast equipment isn't very bulky, but even if we're hauling a lot of gear, there's plenty of cargo space for all your stuff. And if a few of our producers tag along, no problem. The Mini Countryman comfortably seats 5 adults. The Countryman may be big, but it still drives like a Mini thanks to the twin-power turbo engine. No matter what story you're chasing, the Mini Countryman will help you find it. It's available now, and so are 30 for 30 podcasts. Visit miniusa.com/countryman today.
And now, Jalen and Jacoby on ESPN Radio.
When I pop the trunk, head the deck. Y'all pop the trunk, I pop the hood.
Now act stupid, I'll pop the trunk. Now give me a boom.
He is Jalen Rose.
What up, Doe?
I'm David Jacoby.
And on the cool check-in. Center stage on the mic.
And we putting it on wax. It's the new style.
What do we do?
We get to find individuals that have consistently supported this program for 6 years. Exactly what they want, more importantly, when they need it, via radio, television, or podcast.
Jalen, we've missed you here at Jalen Jacoby. We had some guests. I want to give a big shout to Anita, a big shout to Ramona for holding us down yesterday. I'm so glad you're back. We have a lot of questions for us via our voicemail line.
I missed you, too. I miss you so much, I followed you today.
Okay. We have our voicemail line, which is 985-80-JALEN. Make sure you leave messages on that. Ladies.
Hey, ladies.
Make sure you leave voicemails for us. Tomorrow is Wednesday, which is the day that we celebrate women with all female voicemails. So, ladies, make sure you pick up the phone and call 985-80-JALEN and leave us voicemails. We will play them on the show just like this.
Jalen Jacoby, what up, though? James calling from Miami. I'm a huge fan of the show. Been listening to you guys on the podcast, watching you guys on the TV show. I actually work overnight at a Dunkin' Donuts. We have a TV there, and we're not supposed to change the channel, but I changed to ESPN to watch you guys on TV every night. But I got a question for both of you guys. Jalen, how long do you think it will be until Luke Walton takes Lonzo Ball out of the starting lineup? He didn't play a whole fourth quarter. They won the game. He's clearly not the best point guard on the team. So how long do you think Luke Walton pulls him out of the starting lineup and starts JC over him? And Jacoby, most anticipated movie for me is coming out this week in Justice League. I know you don't get a lot of time out of the house to go see the movie, but Will you eventually see the movie, and how excited are you for the Justice? Thanks, guys, for taking the call and giving the people what they want. Keep getting them checks. Shout out.
Reg late with the shout out. Come on, Reg. What are you doing? Something else? Give him another shout out, Reg.
Shout out.
First of all, shout to James.
Shout out.
One thing I want to, you know what, Jalen, I know he asked you this question, but I want to lead it off here. Lonzo Ball is a good basketball player. Like, Lonzo Ball's a rookie. He's played 10 NBA games. He's already got triple-double. You watch the games, like, sure, he's not a scorer, but he is a very good basketball. He's an impressive rookie, and I think that he will be a very good NBA basketball player. And after 10, 11 games, everyone's already acting like oh, we got to take him out of the starting lineup, or he can't shoot, and he's never going to score, and the Lakers have a problem with Lonzo. I think Lonzo is a good basketball player. I think he is the best point guard on the team, but I want to give James from Miami a huge shout-out for listening to the pod.
And what up, though, James? Big shout for listening and or watching the show at work, changing the channel at Dunkin' Donuts. We appreciate that.
Those
a couple
late
of things.
Late night donuts customers, you know?
How do I gauge success?
Realistic expectations.
The problem with what has happened with Lonzo Ball is he hasn't said a word. Bundini Brown, LeVar, who's selling the big baller brand, after a game on the court, number 2, when he played well against Phoenix, he was like, big baller brand up 13% tonight. Magic Johnson, my idol, the Hall of Fame mogul. What did he say once they drafted Lonzo Ball and he had his press conference? I want to see your number in the rafters. The expectations have gotten way too high. We've made him an all-time great player. There are people that are walking this earth that have actually said into microphones that he will be the next Jason Kidd. There have been people that's walking the face of this earth that say he's a better passer than everybody they've seen since Magic Johnson. That is not accurate. So now what has taken place is the hype has exceeded what the reality is going to take place, which is I anticipate that he's going to be a veteran in this league, have a successful career. I don't think he's going to be an all-time great player. No. Let me tell you what a franchise player looks like as a rookie. Ben Simmons. That's what a franchise player looks like as a rookie. There's been some other really productive rookies. I can name about 7 of them that are playing in different cities, that are giving numbers, that are scoring double figures. But there's one guy that looks like a franchise player, Ben Simmons. And so with that being said, we need to just pump the brakes a little bit on the expectations, and then you can enjoy the young man play when he has his triple-double night, and you're not so disappointed when he gets benched in the fourth quarter. And because he's shooting so career horrifically bad as a rookie, there will be a time, David Jacoby, that he becomes a substitute this year because you want to save the young man's confidence and you want him to go against second-unit players for his first opportunity to participate in the game.
And it's not what you do, it's how you do it. And you mentioned Ben Simmons, and we didn't put the Sixers in the TV show today, so we'll give him a little life right here. Ben Simmons can't shoot either. You know, like Ben Simmons isn't exactly shooting the lights out, but he is dominant in other ways. And I think that Lonzo is putting himself in the position to be criticized because he takes the shots that Ben Simmons doesn't. And also, Ben Simmons is so good. The Sixers are so good. I watched that game last night from front to back against the Clippers. Like, with Embiid doing what Embiid does, the longest he's ever played a game, he played 36 minutes, had over 30 points, had a bunch of rebounds, got slammed to the ground by Willie Reed. He's talking trash to staring down Blake Griffin and talking trash to everybody and talking trash from the bench. And Covington is just is one of those people that if you don't watch Sixers games, you probably don't even know what he looks like, but he is a key piece of what they're doing. Hitting threes, getting to the rim, playing defense. Covington is very valuable, and he's about to learn just how valuable he is when he gets this contract extension tomorrow.
It's one of those things for me, like if I was a reporter, I guess I would keep tabs because that would be how I eat on the things that I say that ultimately become accurate. And so I'm not going to go King Kong here, but the people that's been listening to the program, I hate to say I told you so, but when Embiid and Ben Simmons get into the lineup together, it's going to be a problem for the rest of the league.
And you've been saying that before Ben Simmons played a single minute in the NBA.
While Embiid was hurt, I'm on national television speaking into microphones, letting people know I saw this young man in college. I've been to Kansas while he was there. I understood what was going to happen once he got healthy. And so I appreciate what's happening in Philly. But here's what doesn't get discussed.
What's that?
And I have to be this dude. When you talk about trust the process, the two guys we mentioned are so good, you don't even mention the mistakes that they've made. No. What about the number 1 overall pick, Markelle Fultz?
Oh, I'm sorry. I completely forgot about Markelle Fultz because, he played a couple games, his jumper was broken. And now you can, no one's really described exactly what that injury is. You know what I mean? Or what the timeline is for him to come back or what it is with him.
No. That's how good those two guys are. And you have Covington shooting it. You have J.J. Redick shooting it. The future is bright, and it is now in Philly. And I'm just going to say, I said this already. Those two guys will be in the All-Star game, which isn't saying much, I guess, in the East. But it does mean something for a rookie in particular, Ben Simmons, because probably the last 30 years, only 5 rookies have been an All-Star. So really impressive what I'm seeing out of those guys. Yep. And that's the difference between performing like a rookie, which we see in Lonzo, and performing like all-stars, which we're seeing from those guys in Philly.
I don't like to read entire articles, but I actually did that with Brett Brown. There's a good piece on him in the Washington Post where Brett Brown is basically saying, we set expectations on the playoffs, and we're not backing away from that. He's like, to back away, we're owning that. Those are our expectations, and we would be a failure if we did not make the playoffs. And I like that he's not trying to change that narrative or put some excuses out there or whatever. He's like, the process thing, like the tanking thing, that was cute. That era is over, and now it's win games time, which I love.
And also, I got to just throw something out there for the fans. Because people are so quick to point the finger at people when they do a bad job. And I was a person on television saying it as loud as possible that Phil Jackson did a terrible job as president of the Knicks. But he did draft Porzingis. How about this? Sam Hinkie lost his job for exactly what you just said. Mm-hmm. He did draft Joel Embiid
3 years ago.
And lastly, I have to say this. As a part of the NBA fraternity, what Philly is doing to Jahlil Okafor is foul. It's flagrant. I don't like it. It's disrespectful. It's bad for the game. If you don't want him there, then move him and allow him to be productive somewhere else. But to sit him on the bench and continue to give him DNPs when I've seen him be a productive player, that's just lame.
And I'm going to say that, and I also think what the Mavericks are doing with Nerlens Noel is also foul. I feel like with Nerlens Noel, they offered him this deal. He said, no, thank you. And then they're like, oh, you don't want to play with us? Then fine. We won't even let you showcase your abilities. We won't even let you show other teams that may want to pick you up at the end of this year that you can play. Like, he's getting DNPs. Okafor is getting DNPs, and neither deserve them. I can understand Okafor might not be a perfect fit for today's NBA, but he has value as a backup or as whatever to somebody. And Nerlens Noel actually is a perfect fit for today's NBA, but somehow cannot find his way to the court. Real quick, Alex wants to know, soft move or boss move, leaving your hazard lights on so you can park illegally. Is there any other way to do it?
Move. Did it
Is
today.
there any other way to do it? I do that all the time. I do that all the time.
Did it today.
I barely park without putting my hazards on. Please. That is a boss move.
I park illegally so much sometimes I'll forget to put on the hazards.
Jalen, do you want to give the people what they want?
Let's give them what they need.
I just saved hundreds of dollars by switching to Geico. I'm so happy, I feel like I can fly.
Disclaimer, you will not be able to fly by switching to Geico. This is against the laws of physics and nature. If you find yourself flying, please seek professional and or medical help immediately. In the unlikely event you find yourself flying, you might be a superhero, or a pigeon, or a superhero named Pidgewoman, who was bitten by a radioactive pigeon. If you are indeed Pidgewoman, Geico retains all licensing publishing rights in the event Pidgewoman the movie becomes a top-grossing Hollywood blockbuster.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
The Knicks in the Cavs gave everyone what they wanted last night. Heading into the game, LeBron James stoked the flame a little bit by talking about how Dennis Smith Jr. should be on the Knicks. The Knicks got a little mad about that. And then during the game, it looked like the Knicks would have the last laugh. They were up by 23 points in the third quarter when the Cavaliers came alive. Kyle Korver was who we thought Kyle Korver was, hitting three after three after three. LeBron James switched on to Kristaps, and it was all Cavs from there. They pulled out the win. Jalen Rose, is this the type of game that could turn around the Cleveland Cavaliers season?
I don't think so. It's the kind of game that acknowledges that until they get Isaiah Thomas back for the long-term goals, like winning the championship and winning the East, when they get back Tristan Thompson for the short-term goals, that's winning basketball games, getting close as possible to the number one seed, there are going to be times where this basketball team struggles. They're the oldest team in the league. They're going to need LeBron to be dominant consistently, and they're going to need amazing performances from individuals like they got in the fourth quarter from Kyle Korver.
I liked this for the Cavs because of the way the other people contributed. Like you mentioned, Kyle Korver hit a bunch of threes and really sparked them. Dwayne Wade, while he isn't vintage Dwayne Wade, he got a huge offensive rebound on the baseline that basically sealed the win for the Cavs. It seemed like a full team effort in the second half. However, if you watch the first half, the Cavs look awful. Like they look so bad in the first half and so good in the second half. How does that happen to a basketball team?
You got to give the Knicks some credit. A young basketball team playing on their home floor, going against a LeBron James-led team. The building was electric. You're going to get their best effort. And Porzingis got off to a really good start. I talked about the numbers that Cantor would put up in the Eastern Conference. He equaled those totals in yesterday's game. Tim Hardaway continues to play with effort. He got a big contract in the offseason. They get paid to play basketball as well, but they weren't able to close the deal.
You mentioned the electricity of Madison Square Garden. It was no point during the game more electric than this. LeBron James caught an alley-oop, and then after he gets the dunk, he's running back on defense. Perhaps he could have avoided Frank Ntilikina, but he didn't, and they bumped, and they bumped, and they bumped, and then Enes Kanter got involved, and they started jawing and shoving, and it became what, Jalen Rose?
Hold me back!
I loved every single second of it, just like the Garden crowd did as well, not backing down to the king. But after the game, they continued to take shots at each other through the media.
I'll tell you one thing, this team is really special. And you ain't coming to my house playing that water bottle flip game again. You know what I mean? I don't care who you are, king, what do you call yourself, king, queen, princess, whatever you are. You know what, we're going to fight. And nobody out there going to punk us.
Well, I'm the king, my wife is the queen, and my daughter is the princess. So we got all three covered.
Jalen, what do you think about all this back and forth between Cantor and James?
It's just talk. It's just things that give the media an opportunity to lead our program with this game. Versus if this situation didn't happen, we probably would not be talking at length about this game. But here's what Cantor is doing. What? And it's really intelligent.
Ooh.
Number one, he has always been a guy. I saw this happen with KD when he left the Warriors, how Cantor was a vocal member of that squad. He against us type of mentality. Now in New York, he understands he never has to throw a punch. He never has to get a hard foul. All he has to do is talk tough during the media and huff and puff a few times in somebody's face during the game, and everybody's going to eat it up. He was a trending topic just because he went up to LeBron James and had the nerve to say something to him nose to nose.
All he did wasn't even nose to nose. It was more like cheek to cheek, and they're just yapping at each other. But now, I promise you, in all 5 boroughs of New York City, they're now planning an Enes Kanter statue based on that performance last night, where all he had to do was just talk to LeBron James. You made a really good point about that. But to be real, I always say, you can be mean if you're funny. Don't you think that whole, he calls himself queen thing was super corny?
I think not only what Cantor said was LeBron James almost basically got teed up for a lob by what Cantor threw out there. Because like he mentioned, his family got all of the bases covered. Cantor should have went another direction.
I love wins with the lady. You know what I mean? I love that LeBron James got a win with his wife out of this, because Savannah saw this, and she saluted the television when she saw it. Anytime you can sneak a diss at your opponent and also win at home, that is a big win. But the Cavs won on the road, and this whole back and forth didn't end on Monday. It was Tuesday, the day after. Remember, LeBron had been trolling the Knicks before the game, during the game, and after the game, he posted this on Instagram. A picture of himself at the center of the Madison Square Garden court with the caption, "You're welcome, King of New York." Jalen, what does he mean by "you're welcome"?
I'm going to give this a different spin.
Ooh.
LeBron James is media savvy. He's done a lot of social media with the undefeated.
Shout out.
He even showed himself on a subway going to shoot around with some teammates.
You mean uninterrupted.
A lot of people that take the subway a lot probably felt like that was a cheesy thing to do. Here's what I truly think LeBron James is doing. He's trying to create a drum roll of enthusiasm that makes people believe that he may come play in New York City.
You know that is what everyone is thinking. Like, he knows what he's doing. And when he talks about draft picks and he talks about Phil Jackson, then Phil Jackson is gone, and he puts a picture of himself surrounded by the Knickerbocker logo, you think he doesn't know what that imagery connotes? Like, you think he doesn't, see that perhaps the gigantic Knicks logo and his body could get people to start thinking that perhaps he would one day have that logo not underneath him but on him?
He's really brand conscious. He's socially aware. In particular, the way he types his tweets and his IG posts. He understands that now he's going to create a conversation like, what if LeBron did decide to team up in New York City with Porzingis to play basketball? Because a contradiction happened. At first he said he wasn't throwing shots at Nina Kina. He was throwing shots at Phil Jackson, but yet he beat them. He talked to Cantor and then did a post the day after. Phil Jackson is nowhere around.
Nope. Jalen, breathe, relax, get to a happy place. I know this makes you nervous. It is time for the Don't Get Fired topic of the day.
And now, the Don't Get Fired topic of the day.
Jalen Rose, we all know that 3 UCLA basketball players are being held in China on charges of shoplifting. Well, TMZ Sports has this video of LiAngelo Ball, Cody Riley, and Jalen Hill returning to America after being released from China with all of the charges dropped. I can't believe I'm about to say this, but President Trump got involved with one of LeVar Ball's children's problems. Let's listen to our President of the United States of America.
The basketball players, by the way, I know a lot of people are asking. I will tell you, when I heard about it 2 days ago, I had a great conversation with President Xi. What they did was unfortunate. You're talking about very long prison sentences. They do not play games. He was terrific, and they're working on it right now, and hopefully everything's going to work out. And I know they're very grateful because they were told exactly what happened.
Jalen, so now we have President Trump talking with Chinese President Xi about 3 UCLA basketball players stealing sunglasses. What do you think President Trump said to the president of China?
It's not what you do, it's when you do it. In this case, where you do it. If you're going to steal something and you're a collegiate student and you're built like a collegiate athlete, you're probably going to garner the attention of individuals when you walk in a Louis Vuitton store that's connected to your hotel. So coincidentally, 45 was already on a trip to take care of some matters on behalf of the United States. So I guess in that sense, it worked out in the player's favor. But all in all, it's one thing to be a college athlete and do stupid things. Let me get to the front of the line.
You've definitely done that.
I did dumb things when I was a collegiate athlete.
Lots of them, and they were well chronicled.
No question about it. But times are different. The technology, the information, the social media, the cameras, you just have to have a bigger sense of awareness. So this ended up being a situation that we're going to talk about. And fortunately for them, I didn't hear about them being kicked off the team.
Nope.
I didn't hear about them being expelled from school.
Nope.
And I hope that they kept the glasses. How about that?
I don't think they kept the glasses. I don't think they got the glasses.
Okay.
They returned
Here's
the
my
merchandise.
question. How do three people steal one pair of glasses or three pair of glasses?
I don't know how that works either, but I do know this, that LeVar Ball will never let the opportunity for a big press conference go to the wayside. Do you think that the Big Baller brand will come out with a signature President Trump sneaker line?
Not going to be able to do it.
You don't think so? You don't think we'll get a LeVar Ball President Trump press conference in our future? Let's move on. Jalen Rose. Before we get to the latest on the Roger Goodell contract extension issue, there's something I just want to talk to you about. There is a reported request from Roger Goodell to have his new contract terms as such. $49.5 million a year, lifetime health insurance for him and his family, and lifetime access to a private plane. Before we get to the latest involving Jerry Jones, what do you think about that request?
To whom much is given, much is required. And the last time I checked, he's in charge of a multi-billion-dollar conglomerate that represents the best interests of 32 owners, all billionaires who have these things readily at their disposal.
Mm-hmm.
They have lifetime insurance for themselves and their family. They have lifetime access to jets and the high life. It comes with the territory. And I know there are going to be a lot of people that look and say, especially players, you kind of look at it with a side eye and say, man, he getting $50 million a year and he doesn't have to put on a helmet and shoulder pads. It's the business of the game. And not to get in anybody's pockets, but let me give you a different analogy of somebody I love on daytime television.
David Jacoby?
Judge Judy makes over $40 million per year.
She earns it.
Just to put it in perspective.
She earns it.
Because people are watching her program.
Well, it sounds like Jerry Jones.
I never talk about an employee getting their bread. We can't count somebody else's pocket.
It sounds like Jerry Jones, the NFL Compensation Committee, might have to go see Judge Judy because they are at odds. Jerry Jones and 4 or 5 other owners, they want Goodell's new contract to be incentive-based. Guess what? Our colleagues Wickersham and Van Natta have some information on that. Goodell reportedly, quote, feels as if owners have made a lot of money and he should be compensated accordingly, and that, quote, the incentive thing really angers him. What do you think about Roger Goodell wanting a guaranteed contract?
I think this is a boss move. How about this? I know that you don't give the players insurance. I know that you don't give them planes. I know that you don't give them guaranteed contracts. But you ain't doing that to me.
I know, it's insane. It's just like, oh, wait, no. Listen, when he's at the negotiation table, it's like, we cannot have guaranteed contracts for our players. It does not work. We cannot give them health insurance. Then the next meeting, he's like, I need a guaranteed contract and I need health insurance because why would I work without a guaranteed contract and health insurance?
Because he's behind the curtain and he sees how the sausage is made and he knows those conversations. And he's like, all of the things y'all want to make sure the players didn't get, I'm in charge of delivering that message to the players and to the public. So y'all going to make sure y'all give that to me.
Jalen Rose, November 20th, you and I have dinner plans. There's a Wu-Tang themed dinner being held in Brooklyn. Restaurateur Han Chiang, first of all, I apologize if I said your name wrong. You're my favorite new restaurateur because what this man is doing is that Han Dynasty is presenting a Wu-Tang inspired beer dinner on November 20th in Brooklyn and 21st in Philadelphia. You can go to this dinner. This dinner consists of 20 different Wu-Tang inspired dishes. Awesome. 16 different beers. Even better. And while or after you dine, Ghostface Killah will perform. Jalen Rose, do you have dinner plans for November 20th in Brooklyn? Because I do not want to miss this.
What day of the week is that?
I don't know, man. You know I don't like follow-up questions. I'm going to say Tuesday.
So a couple of things. Erase everything. I want to just go see Ghostface, number one.
What about the food?
Number two, I love this idea. I've been paying attention to social media. I saw Power Wall give you a shout.
Mm-hmm.
Raekwon the Chef gave our show a shout.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing. If we're not working that day, we must find a way to be there. It's who we are. I will be disappointed if we're not there.
It's actually on a Monday, but if we were to go, we would party until Tuesday, probably. Probably. That's how it works. So, Jalen,
I'll be there.
This next topic is one that I think that you can understand as someone who has a high school, the Jalen Rose Leadership Academy in Detroit, something great that you're doing. There's a new high school opening in Farmington, Utah. And it's going to open next year. So in advance of that, they had to pick a mascot. So while they're picking a mascot, they let the people decide. And the people decided on the Phoenix. Interesting. I get it. The Phoenix rising from the ashes. I get it. Mythical bird. Totally cool. There's one dad that's not happy. Kyle Fraughton is very upset about Phoenix. Do you know why? Because the plural of Phoenix, I'm pretty sure I'm saying this right, phoenices, he thinks sounds too much like penises. He has a 3,000-person petition trying to get this changed. If you lived in Farmington, Utah, first of all, you'd be very different. Second of all, if you lived there, would you sign the petition?
I would not sign a petition, but here's what I would like to see happen. Can you say Phoenices 3 straight times without getting fired?
Phoenices. And another question for you. When someone says, what do you call someone that plays the piano? Answer.
A pianist.
A pianist. Don't you kind of giggle every time you hear that? No? Just me? Probably just me. Let's move on.
No, that's one of those things that the smart kids laughed at.
That's why I left. I also want to give a special shout out to the Tolbert family in Maryland. This one's very close to me. They have a 6-year-old boy, and they also have 2-year-old twin boys, just like my family. I want to give them a big shout out. However, unlike my family, Nia Tolbert is now expecting triplets. So they will have a boy, 2 more boys, and then triplet girls. Jalen, you've always tried to dissuade me from having this surgery, which would render me impossible to have more children. Do you still think I should not have the surgery, even after hearing about the Tolbert family?
Don't do it. Please don't do it. I promise you. Life happens in mysterious ways, my brother.
Like triplets.
Keep your bullets in the chamber.
No. I'm emptying everything, Jalen Rose. I'm taking the clip out. I'm taking the one in the chamber out. The gun's going on the shelf. It's all over. And I will do it for the program. I'm proposing that a lot of people get this surgery done during March Madness. I am proposing that we do the show from my hospital bed during the first and second days of March Madness. Are you down?
I support you bungee jumping, and I will come watch you do that from a distance. I'm not coming to watch you do that.
All right, hey, producers, can you get Al Harrington on the phone? Because we got to do a show that day. You know, there's a lot going on that day. Someone get Al Harrington. We're also going to do a show tomorrow if we didn't get fired for what we did today.
Al, because
and
you want some medicinal support.
We'll be back tomorrow, Jalen and Jacoby on ESPN2.
Thank you. You're far too kind.